Today we're talking about the rite of earth, the homemade rite of Eleusis that we did here at Haru Raha Lodge for many years straight. And then 93 Lodge took it over with a beautiful resurrection as the, the rite of Persephone and Persephone's journey. Oh, what a past we've had. And hopefully we will have a future. We'll have a future too. This is me as Jupiter, by the way, in one of the rites of the rite of Jupiter. But anyway, this is toward the end of the book, Homemade Magick, which will be available again in just later this summer. Of course, you'll have to excuse me if I seem a little scatterbrained, more than usual, because we haven't been sleeping very well. We've been trying to find a new place to move. So continue to hold us in your thoughts, and so that we can find a new place that we're happy with, like we have been in this place for the last 22 years. Okay. But am I bitter? No, I've forgotten all about it. Anyway, we're reading through The Rite of Earth, which is sort of a retelling of the story of Persephone and Demeter. And it's, just as a review, it's formatted along the same lines as Crowley's 7 Rites of Eleusis. Has the same modular landmarks of each of the rites of Eleusis. Only it's a retelling of the story of Demeter and Persephone. And we use, like the other rites of Eleusis, we use classical literature, classical poems, along with Crowley's poems and Crowley's holy book quotes and things like that. So we had great fun creating it. At the beginning, just to review where we are, the rite opens in the citadel of Eleusis, which in a homemade situation is our living room with people sitting on floor cushions. It's dimly lit with candles, and the character who is playing Persephone reads the Taurus section from the Treasure House of Images to start it off. Then the conductor, sort of the stage manager, is Hermes himself. And Hermes, which we read yesterday, his little opening, completely recaps the entire telling of the Persephone myth, the classic one. And for that I used Homer's poem, the hymn to Demeter. And of course I cut and pasted and moved things around so we could it could be said in just recited in just a few minutes. So now all of the Misties, or the audience, knows the plot. The next step, Hermes will guide everybody in the house. They'll get up, they'll go out the door into the backyard, which is set up for 3 scenes. The scene of Persephone's garden, the scene of the altar of Hecate right in the center, and the scene of Hades itself and the throne room of Hades. So Persephone we're still in the house, in the citadel, but now that's going to change. Part 2. Hermes now marshals the Misties and prepares to lead them to the outdoor scene depicting the garden of Persephone. they are stopped at the door by the herald of darkness, who holds a torch and an urn of wine, which he empties onto the ground in front of them, as he says, "The voice of my undying and secret soul said unto me, let me enter the path of darkness, and peradventure there I shall find the light." The herald of darkness then opens the door and lights the way for Hermes and the Misties. They enter the garden, where they find Persephone and the daughters of the ocean gathering flowers. Hermes narrates as they watch this little vignette of Persephone and the ladies looking at narcissus flowers. Hermes says, "This is the daughter of the king. This is the virgin of eternity. This is she that the Holy One hath wrested from the giant time, and the prize of them that have overcome space. This is she that is set up upon the throne of understanding. Holy, holy, holy is her name, not to be spoken among men. For Kori they have called her, and Malka, and Betula, and Persephone. And the poets have feigned songs about her, and the prophets have spoken vain things, and young men have dreamed vain dreams. But this is she, that immaculate, in the name of whose name, the name of whose name may not be spoken. Thought cannot pierce the glory that defendeth her, for thought is smitten dead before her presence. Memory is blank, and the most ancient books of magic, there are neither words to conjure her nor adorations to praise her. Will bends like a reed in the tempests that sweep the borders of her kingdom, and the imagination cannot figure so much as one petal of the lilies upon whereon she standeth in the lake of crystal, in the sea of glass. There was a maiden that strayed among the corn inside, then grew a new birth, a narcissus, and therein she forgot her sighing and her loneliness. Even instantly rode Hades heavily upon her and ravished her away. Then the earth opens, and Hades is seen abducting Persephone to his temple of the underworld. Now, in different venues, we've done this various ways. And I mentioned yesterday, we had a creaky old garage door opener that made a lot of terrifying noise. And we had set up the scene of Hades' throne room inside our little garage area that was completely black with black hangings everywhere and bones and skulls on the floor, and a bowl of flaming alcohol. It looked really spooky. So Hades popped out of that area, grabbed Persephone, and took her back into the throne room. But anyway, the earth opens up, and Hades is seen abducting Persephone to his temple of the underworld. She screams, "Zeus! Zeus!" Our neighbors must have wondered what the hell is going on over there. All these people wandering around. Okay. Following the abduction of Persephone, the temple of the underworld closes behind Hades and Persephone. Hermes directs the Misties to join him and follow Demeter on her journey in search of her missing daughter. In the process of her journey, so they pick up Demeter out in the garden after the production, the abduction. She appears, and then Hermes directs the Misties to follow him and her around the yard. In the process of her journey, they bear witness to her invocation of Hecate. Demeter stands in the center of the yard at the altar of Hecate. She lights the bowl of alcohol and recites the invocation of Hecate. And during the invocation, the Misties, led by Hermes, circumambulate the altar of fire and Demeter. So there's all these people, maybe 25 people or more, circling around this flaming bowl of alcohol while Demeter stands there and invokes Hecate. And remember, Hecate is going to be important in this because we've already learned that Hecate knew where Persephone was. Demeter didn't even know where she was, but Hecate knew. So Demeter is invoking Hecate with Crowley's invocation of Hecate. O triple form of darkness, somber splendor, thou moon unseen of men, thou huntress dread, thou crowned demon of the crownless dead, O breasts of blood too bitter and too tender, unseen of gentle spring, let me the offering bring to thy shrine's sepulchre glittering. I slay the swart beast. I bestow the bloom sown in the dusk and gathered in the gloom under the waning moon. At midnight, hardly lightening the east. And the black lamb from the black ew's dead womb I bring and stir the slow infernal tune fit for thy chosen priest. Here where the band of ocean breaks and the road black trodden, deeply stooping to the abyss, I shall salute thee with the nameless kiss. Pronounced toward the uttermost abode of thy supreme desire, I shall illumine the fire whence thy wild Sturgis shall obey the lyre, whence thy lemurs shall gather round and spring round, girdling me in the sad funereal ground, with faces turned back. My face averted, I shall consummate that awful act of worship. O renowned fear upon earth, and fear in hell, and fear, black fear in the sky beyond fate. I hear the howling of thy wolves. I hear the howling of the hounds about thy form, who comest in the terror of thy storm. And night falls faster ere thine eyes appear glittering through the mist. O face of woman unkissed, saved by the dead, whose love is taken ere they wist. Thee I call, O dire one, O divine, I, sole mortal, seek thy deadly shrine. Pour the dark stream of blood, a sleepy and reluctant river, even as thou drawest with thine eyes on mine, to me across the sense-bewildering flood that holds my soul forever. The night falls back. The shadows give place. The threefold form appears in the black. As a direful face half seen in the storm, I worship. I praise the wonderful ways where the smitten rays of darkness sunder. The hand is lifted. The gates are rifted. The sound is as thunder. She comes to the summons, her face as a woman's, her feet as a fear's, turned back on her path for the sign of wrath. She appears. She appears. At the conclusion of the invocation, the goddess Hecate appears before the altar of Hecate. She holds a lamp in her hands. She touches Demeter softly on the cheek, then points the accusatory finger toward the corner of the yard that conceals the throne of Hades. Before they travel there, they are met by Iris and the gods of Olympus. And that's where we will stop today. And we'll pick it up tomorrow. Iris and the gods of Olympus. I'll just give you a little preview here. Will attempt to calm Demeter down. And tell her how important it is that she get Persephone back, because the earth is dying. And if the earth dies, the worshippers die. And without worshippers, there are no gods. So each one of the gods in turn try to dissuade her from cursing the earth forever. It's kind of interesting. And I've got to confess, it's very timely. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Wish us good luck in house hunting. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.